Welcome to Eagle River, Wisconsin, where the snowmobiles outnumber the automobile. And the favorite season is winter, and January is the best time of all. On this weekend, the town of 1,200 will grow to 40,000. The visitors come from Rhinelander and Cranmer, Middle River and Duluth. All morning they picnic and party. Then at noon they gather around a half-mile oval track to witness one of the major motor racing events in this country. 15 years ago when it started, they called it the World's Championship Snowmobile Race. They still do, because it still is. Two men drive for Arctic Cat. Jim Dimmerman, number 5, Bob Elsner, number 1. The pattern for the day is set with the first race. Dimmerman, hard off the line, rushing headlong into the first turn. Determined to win more than the race. He must win every foot, every inch of track. To start in front, to stay in front, to be in front, flag to flag. Then Elsner, relaxed, confident, cagey, willing to start behind, to run on any part of the track, dodging the other machines, weaving through the traffic, setting up the other riders. And when the time is right, to move up, to come from any part of the track into the lead. And once there, never give it up. All through the heats and lower classes, it is the same. Dimmerman taking the lead, holding it. Elsner coming from behind. Race after race, heat after heat. Dimmerman, Elsner, Elsner, Dimmerman. Race after race, heat after heat. Until there is only one question unanswered. What will happen when they come to the line together? The tradition continues, as it was Colton against Lofton. It is now Dimmerman against Elsner. Team Arctic against Team Arctic. For the first time in 10 years, winning the Eagle River World Championship seems possible.
My plan of attack for Eagle River World Championship is the first turn, getting to the first turn, the whole shot is very important. You've got 10 guys coming to the line. They're coming to that corner all at once, and they won't be but 5 feet apart. If I can get ahead of that group and lead my race through that first turn and down the back chute and just drill them down the back chute, that ideally would be the way to go.
I'm in number 1 spot. I should have real good ice on the start. If I can beat the rest of the people to the corner and get around the corner first, and then stay and lead the rest of the race, that's my plan. All depends. If I don't come out of the hole good, I'll have to probably wait back and maybe go around the outside of the whole bunch on the first lap and take it on from there.
I think a little strategy is going to have to be used, because if I have to run hard for 10 laps, the last 5 probably would be so wore out that I won't be able to do any passing if I wasn't in front. I think in my own mind the toughest guy out there, and because I race with him every day, even when we're home testing and every weekend, is my own teammate Bobby Elsner.
It's been a long time for Arctic as far as a win at the World Championship race here. I think it's 10 years. We've got 2 sleds in the final here, and we've got 1 and 2 positions. I think we've got a real good chance of winning it this year.
I'm really looking forward to winning the race. Arctic hasn't won this one for 10 years now. I believe Roger Jansen was the one that won it before in '69 or so.
A decade ago, it looked like this. The racers came to the track with what they had. Some raced family sleds, and it didn't seem to make much difference. The machines were rough. The track was rougher. The top speed was 45 miles an hour. Like the faded pages from a family album, it reminds us how long we have traveled and how far we have come. That year, the crowds cheered the man they called the Bullet, Roger Jansen, because he ran wide open and stopped for nothing. 10 years ago, the Bullet won it all. But like they say, times have changed. Now, winning starts before the season, here in the race shop.
Bobby tore that off last year. We don't want to do that again.
Where do you want it? Hold it.
Middle hole. That's a good way to start out at.
To be a racer is to be a dreamer. To be a winner is to be a hard worker. For every second spent on the track, a long hour is spent here. Dreams come dear. They will take all a man has to give and then throw it back in his face.
Oh, I hope it's Andy. I'll tell you.
Bob Elsner has won dozens of races, but he dreams of the World's Championship. And when the others leave, it's that dream which holds him.
Yeah, she's going to be rough.
Early morning, the day of the race, and Elsner's dream walks him around a half mile of ice and snow he will later ride. Perhaps within its smooth, frozen surface, he will find some sign, some small reassurance.
whistle around the outside the guys up there if I get a bad hole shot.
Coming to the line for the World's Championship race, Elsner and Dimmerman have the fastest qualifying times. Positions 1 and 2. Both machines are running well. Both men well prepared. The races are ready. Suddenly, two drivers seem to jump the flag, tearing down the track into the first turn far ahead of the other drivers. Dimmerman, thinking the race will be restarted, rides easily around, far back to the leaders. Elsner holds his position. Both anticipate the red flag, which will mean a restart. But the flag is not red. It's green, and the race is on. Careful planning, the hours of work, the strategy, the training, has all been thrown aside by this cruel twist. Elsner now pushes all thoughts from his mind, save one, to get the lead and hold it. There's no reason now to save himself or his machine. The dream is here. The dream is now. There's only one machine blocking the way. Elsner has worked too hard to give it up, has waited too long to let it go. Back deep in the pack, Dimmerman begins his move. Hindered by flying snow, he assaults the leaders, driving right to the edge. He fights to regain his lost momentum and begins moving up. Half a lap ahead, Elsner stretches it out. It's all his if he can hold it. He looks behind to see who might be challenged. There is no one. Ahead, the smooth, open surface he knows so well. Beneath him, the machine he put together piece by piece. It is here, to this place, on this machine, this Arctic cat, his dream has been leading. He could slow now, protect his lead, but his hand will not come off the throttle. He has waited too long. This is not just a man and his dream. It is the process. One more time. With one lap to go, Elsner charges the finish line, as Colton did, as Lofton did, as Thompson did, as they all did. This is Team Arctic, doing what it has always done, catching up a dream and making it shine.
out of a race because you flipped it over. This all makes up for it.
You bet that's the greatest thing I've ever done in my life so far. Wonderful. I love it.
You weren't having this kind of luck earlier today.
Yeah, I don't know what was wrong. The sleds were jetted probably wrong or something like that, but this thing come on just beautiful.
You didn't get the best start in the world. Where were you when the green flag went?
I don't know. Just probably late on the draw. I don't know.
How long did it take you to get into first place? Do you know?
I don't even know that. I just drove from behind and it's coming as it was. I don't probably 5 or 6 laps.
Where was the most difficult place on the track for you?
I don't know. It was on the bottom, but I looked at it when we made our parade lap, and it was rough down there, so I tried to stay high.
This has to be one of the biggest days in your whole life to win the Eagle River Run. Hey, congratulations. Come on, couple victory laps. Oh, you know what to do.
I need my helmet back.
Let's go. Give me back.
In the late 1950s, a man in northern Minnesota put together this collection of angle iron and spare parts, called it a snowmobile, and proceeded to demonstrate its worth. He drove it across Alaska, took it up Pikes Peak. He presented it to any gathering of 2 or more prospective buyers from Idaho to Maine. In the course of this and subsequent activity, the man and his machine gained fame and fortune. The machine is known far and wide as the finest snowmobile made, the Arctic Cat. And the man has become a legend in his own time and needs no introduction.
Who's Edgar Hateen?
What?
Who's Edgar Hateen?
I know. He's the founder of Arctic Cat.
Some several years ago, in fact, in 1956, a gentleman walked into our place of business. His name was Pete Peterson. And he was to request that we build him some type of vehicle where he could sit on it and travel through the snow, which we did. And we found this was a thing that had a lot of romance. It was a fun thing to do. And we tried to sell it. People wouldn't buy it. We went to phone companies, power line companies and stuff like that, and finally established a market through a need market. And then the fun market came into its own. And at that point in time, there was no way that we could possibly conceive that this machine would ever be used for racing.
And now they race all across the country. 1 million people will fill the 100 grandstands to watch, and thousands will compete. In Alexandria, Minnesota, they now have a race named for the inventor. And that trophy, the Hateen Cup, is the top prize in all of snowmobiling.
The Hateen Cup, it's a race that is based on a number of points, and any driver can win it. What's it all mean? Well, it shows who's got the best sleds and who's the best drivers.
In 1976, you did not have to look far for the best drivers. They all came from the same team. They dominated professional snowmobile racing like Ferrari dominated Grand Prix. They wore the colors of Arctic Cat, and their names became known to all race fans. Dave Thompson, injured at Eagle River but now ready for his best year. Bob Elsner, the newest team member. He would be runner-up for Driver of the Year. and Larry Colton, 1976 Snow Pro Driver of the Year.
I haven't won a big race in my life, really, since I have won the Kawartha Cup. That was many, many years ago, but I didn't consider that big at that time.
And I haven't won any major race since then. I've won a lot of races, but I've always been foiled on the big one. And I've really been looking forward to this one.
Is it because it's the Hatteen Cup? Does that make any difference?
It makes a difference, yes, because Edgar is our guy back home. Not only that, you know, he's kind of the father of everything. Plus, it's a lot of money in my pocket, too.
The Hatteen Cup goes to the driver who can accumulate the most points in 3 races, using 3 different size machines. The 250, 340, and 440.
44.9.
At this level of competition, all of these drivers are exceptions. If they were not the best, they would not be here. This is Snow Pro, professional snowmobile racing. No man here backs down in the corners or lets up in the straight. They give no quarter, and they honor only performance. Yet when Larry Colton slides to the starting line, throats become a little tighter, the crowd a little more expectant, the drivers more tense, everything more exciting. Such is the ability of champions. Thompson arrive at the first corner together and come out with Thompson in the lead. Side by side, the 2 men charge down the straightaway and pull quickly ahead of the rest of the field. Thompson is a teammate and a friend, but to Larry that means very little now. Thompson is the opposition, the man between Larry and the checkered flag. And unless he can find a little extra throttle, the big race may get away again. Down the straights and through the corners, the 2 drivers continue their duel. Then with the rest of the field strung out behind them and only a half a lap to go, Larry sees his opening. Larry Colton draws first blood in the 3-race competition. The 340 class is next, and that is considered Larry's strongest. Right now, it looks as though nothing stands between Colton and his goal.
Once again, if you would please back up where you
The drivers are called for the 340 class. A win here, and Larry will carry the Hatteen Cup home. But those thoughts must be driven from his mind. He must concentrate on this race, not what has already happened, not the prize, but this race and only this race. Larry has been here 100 times before. He knows the routine. He knows his machine. He has set it up for this track. The clutching is right. The gearing is right. The track is smooth and fast. Everything is familiar and known. The flagman, the crowd, the other drivers, nothing warns of disaster. There is no voice to say, watch out. The flag drops and Larry charges confidently to the corner. Be the first in, be the first out. Get in the lead, that's the way it's supposed to be, but suddenly it's wrong. It's all wrong. Larry is not first. Larry Colton is third and losing ground. Around the track they go and the nightmare builds. The machine has not been set up right. It's not pulling. machines and flying snow, a dream is being lost. No amount of driving skill and desire can seem to hold it. Finally, it's over. Larry heads back into the pits. What seemed so sure a moment ago now seems so remote. Sitting in the pits waiting for the 440 class, Larry knows he has blown it. Right now, he gives himself little chance to win, and that's what it will take to get the points necessary for the cup. While teammates and supporters come around to discuss strategy and make suggestions, Larry slips off into his own world. He must now question his own judgment. If the 340 was set up incorrectly, maybe the 440 is too. Doubts cloud his mind. The need to win and the fear of failure churn within him. What to do? He decides to trust his judgment and his machine. This is not a time to panic. He's going to leave the 440 the way it is. If he is right, he wins. If he is wrong, but if you don't have confidence in your own judgment, you don't belong on this track. And now it is time again to race. Larry has decided to extend his gamble. He thinks he can anticipate the flagman and get a split-second jump on the rest of the field. If he guesses wrong, he could be disqualified, but there is no prize for caution. The crowd seems to join the conspiracy, straining with Larry. They know his style. If he takes the lead, he won't be caught. There it is, Larry bursting free from the pack with nothing between him and the finish line except 5 laps of the track. The pressure is on the machine. Larry has done his job. Will the machine hold up and do its job? Can this machine, this Arctic cat which started as one man's dream, carry the dream of another? Neither Arctic Cat nor Edgar Hattin ever set out to build machines to simply win races. Competition was testing, always working to improve the consumer sled. But that is not the goal today. Today, the goal is to win this race for Larry Colton, to win for Arctic Cat, and to win the Hattin Cup for Edgar. Sometimes there's nothing in the world more important than winning.
For me, this is the machine. This Pantera has got it all. Oh, it may not be quite as fast as the El Tigre, and the Panther is still the Panther. But if you're looking for the best riding performance sled around, you just ain't gonna do any better. And that's not just me telling you, that's Arctic Cat. And when you've heard it from Arctic, you've heard it straight.
It's gonna move you. Feel it running through you. Good times are coming on the Cat. Oh, winter time's the best time. The laughing, playing all the time.
To me, this guy right here, Larry Colton, is the all-time go-getting snowmobile racer in the country. He doesn't win them all, but overall, Larry gets the job done. Along with being a racer, Larry's also kind of a test driver for Arctic Cat. What he learns out there on the racetrack, well, the company then uses to make a better consumer sled. For instance, from the Snow Pro races, we developed the El Tigre Z. That Z has put a lot of guys as far out in front of the pack as Larry usually drives. In 1974-75, that El Tigre Z won 299 races, and that's just first places on every oval track all over North America. That kind of thing makes a guy real happy, just knowing that he's working to give another guy a sled that just screams and stomps. If you want to get out on the oval track, or if you're just looking for a hot performer for the trail, well, that El Tigre, I mean, you just couldn't get anything better. Good enough to even pull a smile out of old Larry. But then we come to the Winnipeg to St. Paul cross-country race. Well, this is a long one, and right from the start, I was having some doubts. I mean, if you're going to be banging around for 585 miles, you're going to want to be on a Panther. I mean, racing or not, you're going to want to be on a Panther. The man says we ride the El Tigre Z because we're going to test that suspension. See, that's the way Arctic looks at racing. It's a good place to test. Sitting around at the driver's meeting, it keeps running through my head that just because a sled does real good out there on the oval track, it sure doesn't mean it's going to kick 'em loose on the cross country. But the man says we ride the Z, so Z it is. And anyway, if we don't get much snow and the wind stays down, why, it could be like the last 2 years. And then, well, that Z did real good. Yeah, under the right conditions, this could be a real cherry picker.
There are some of you out there, I know.
The race is not starting on time this morning. It was scheduled to start at 8:30, but due to the high winds, cold temperature, and very low visibility conditions, the race will be starting about 15 minutes late. The greatest race in snowmobiling.
So there it is, and here we are. Just exactly what I didn't want. The wind is up, and it's snowing and blowing so hard to the south of here that they're talking about canceling this leg of the race, having us all move down to East Grand Forks. Well, I, for one, ain't getting my hopes up. This race has never been canceled yet. So we'll just have to stand around and wait for them to tell us what we all know they're going to tell us. And it's cold. I mean, talk about your brass monkey. It's got to be 30 below. And that wind makes you feel like you're in your skivvies.
45 degrees on the Minnesota point as the drivers are ready. There was some question this morning at 8:30 when the race was scheduled to start as to whether they could have an observation plane that would function or not to survey the machines for safety's sake. The machine at that time could not...
So here comes the word. Gentlemen, start your engine. Just like I said, this is one race they never cancel. There are 374 of us, so they're going to have to start us off in waves.
Reports coming in throughout the day. The riders are on the starting line waiting for the signal. The signal will be given shortly. We invite you to stay tuned for coverage. The greatest race in snowmobiling. 4 snow cats per heat. 7 heats. The flag is up. Bring it off. The greatest race in snowmobiling is underway.
Here I am, less than a mile from the starting line, and I already know what this one's going to be. Me. That suspension is already getting a workout. It's like running through a tank track. Race like this, you can't get too worried about the other guy. You just got to find your own pace and try to hold it. It's a long way to St. Paul. I don't know how anyone else figures it, but me, I never like to think too far ahead. If I can just make it to the border, just 90 miles to the border, that'll be just fine. A lot of guys won't get that far. Some stop just to dig ice out of their goggles, and a lot just plain break down. If you break down, you have to do the fixing yourself. Well, there's the border. They don't make a big deal out of this. It's down to a slide and stop and a wave. It's just a couple of miles now to the gas stop. In a cross-country race, this is about the most exciting place to be.
Okay.
Make it?
Hey, get that hose out of the way.
Get that car out of there.
Back up, man.
Lot of traffic, get ready.
Come on, move it.
We got him. Set him over this.
We need a report when you type the first machine, over.
The guy can make up a little time here. All you want to do is get in, get gassed, and get out. Guys working here have really got the hump. Nobody wants to cost a driver any time by messing up or being slow. As far as I can tell, these guys at the gas stop never do.
I think I can make it. 56.1. Now go!
Well, after that gas stop, I figured the worst is over. If I've made it this far, it should be pretty easy to drill her home. I guess everybody thinks about the same on that, but there's still a lot of luck. I passed one guy broke down about 100 yards from the finish line. Boy, that will really frost your indicator. To be that close, and there's nothing you can do about it. Some of the machines look so beat up, you wonder how they made it. And there's a lot of mailboxes and fence posts back there that'll never be the same. Some of the drivers a little dinged, too.
About 2 miles out of Winnipeg, I flipped off and busted my goggles. I ran the whole rest of the way without any goggles, and about halfway through, then I flipped it again and busted the windshield, and then I didn't have nothing.
How do you feel?
All right.
What did they do to you at the hospital?
Told me I shouldn't run tomorrow.
Wow. Are you going to run tomorrow?
I was planning on it.
It is going to be a bit nifty for both drivers and spectators this morning, I tell you.
or below it. 25-mile-an-hour winds. Woo! That'll put some frost on your mustache there. Here's Brenda Lee.
Rock on, baby, rock on, you're not ready, no gone steady.
Because of the hospitalization of 9 drivers and the apparent mechanical difficulty of others, we expect a field of around 220 to start this morning from East Grand Forks, Minnesota.
Well, here it is again. If yesterday was bad, today's worse. The wind's blowing harder. I got more aches and I got places to have them. You know, before a football game, they let a guy warm up. Here, they just cool you down and send you off. East Grand Forks to Alexandria. Well, let's get it done.
The flag is up. They are off at exactly 9:47.
Every sled here is stock, no modifications. You can fix anything but the engine. If that hatches, you're out. You wrench your back all day and you wrench the machine at night. And it all starts over again at dawn. There are only 37 sleds left, and that's a piddling few when you figure 374 started in Winnipeg. So now I got to ask what it all means. Well, for one thing, we learned a lot. We learned that there's still some pretty tough old boys riding this race. We learned that the El Tigre is a real go-faster. I think that machine can take a lot more than me. But I tell you straight out, I would have traded my pickup and a case of bungee cords for a Panther. If there was only some way to put the two sleds together, you know, like a hybrid, keep the flat-out speed of the El Tigre, but give me the ride of the Panther, then I bet we'd have her whipped. Even though this was one of the all-time gut-busting races, we still did pretty good. Wayne Connickson and Richie Porter finished right up there, and we did work out a new suspension. But if we can lick this one little problem, just make a machine with a smooth ride and a lot of zip, why then we'd all be smiling for those cameras and cashing those winners' checks. All we need is some way to put the El Tigre and the Panther together. Now that may seem like a lot to ask, but after all, we're Arctic Cat. We owe it to the industry. If we don't keep improving, what are those other guys going to have to copy? This is research and development at Arctic. We have the most sophisticated equipment for testing and evaluation you can get anywhere. Even General Motors doesn't have any better.
I think we've got to build a new machine.
The spirit's gonna move you.
Making the changes we're looking for is pretty complicated. Every time you fiddle with something here, you got to adjust something else over there. But we got a lot going in. We already have the Spirit engine, the original slide rail suspension, an aluminum chassis, a track that's darn near indestructible. Well, I could go on and on. But if experience and determination can make this sled, then this is the place to do it. We didn't buy our way into this industry, and we didn't get to be Arctic Cat by playing follow the leader. Well, here it is, the new Pantera. And it's everything I wanted it to be, and a little more. Fast like the El Tigre, smooth like the Panther, great on the bumps. Plus, it's almost unstoppable in deep snow. Now, I wasn't expecting that. Charlie Lofton is doing some testing. You know Charlie. He was with the racing team and filled a trophy case for us. He also went faster on a snowmobile than anyone else ever has, and probably ever will.
Where are you going to start from?
Another thing about Charlie, if he says something, you can believe it. Because if it ain't so, he wouldn't say it.
You got your spot picked out?
Well, come from down here and go right up that mountain.
I'm going to use this machine here to go up there because it's developed its torque at low RPM. Probably more torque than any other machine on the market right now. When we dynoed it yesterday, it turned 24 foot-pounds of torque on the track at 30 miles per hour. And it holds a constant 6,500 RPMs. And I think it can go up there.
It's gonna move you.
Here's what Charlie was talking about. This is a test set up every year by a Snowgoer magazine. They really put our Pantera through her paces. And she came away with real high grades, just like I figured she would.
Hook it to her, Jerry.
The dyno showed she'd really pull through the low and middle ranges. We already knew she had a whole lot of top end. Everyone seemed real impressed with Pantera's looks, her contoured seat, and especially with her 10-gallon gas capacity. Well, let's get back to Charlie.
It's steep? Yeah, it's steep. I've never been up one that steep before. Would you do it on any other machine? No. Now tell me one more time, Charlie. What are you going to do? Right now. Right now, I'm going to take this machine right up that mountainside there. And you think you can do it? Yep. And if you don't? We're going to have one less machine to sell to our customers. Because when it comes rolling down there, it's going to be totally smashed up. Don't you feel bad about doing that to a nice new Arctic sled? I don't think I'm going to have it come down. I think it's going to make it. If I didn't believe it'd make it, I wouldn't even try it.
Come on, Charlie, you can make it. Good times are coming on the Cat. Come on, Charlie, you can take it. Good times are coming on the Cat. The Spirit's gonna move you. Feel it running through you. Good times are coming on the Cat.
watch that thing going fast in a straight line all by yourself, it's like there isn't hardly any competition there. You know, and it takes competition to build excitement. It really does. And I mean, inside you, yourself. You know, we were going to win a Milwaukee track. It was a mile track there. We had them 650s, and we went down the back chute, and we weren't a foot between us. And going in that corner, and it was radared at 104 mile an hour. And I mean, it gave you a thrill because the helmet was, you could feel the wind blowing on the helmet wanting to come off, and the front end of the sled getting light, and you're just wondering now, you know, who's got the most here? Who's going to back out of her first?
What's your kick now in snowmobiling?
Well, I guess after all the speed and everything, you just, no, I enjoy taking the sled and just going out on the lake and sitting there on it, falling asleep in the sunshine and doing some ice fishing and enjoying the other end of it.
Sometimes the simplest things are remembered longest. A big ride can be nothing more than a fishing trip to a spring-fed lake, a warm sun, a hole dug in the ice, a hook covered with salmon eggs.
For sure there's something down there now.
They're there in the summertime. They got to be there in the wintertime.
Now you want me to drop this thing right down there?
Right down there.
Well, I'll do that then. Get down there. Come on. Yeah, that's cool.
Now, the nice thing about fishing up here is that if you don't catch any fish, you still could have a good time.
There was a ride that my son and I took last winter that, well, we'll always remember. We were going out to check on a deer yard, just to see how they were wintering.
Will we be able to see them?
If we're quiet. Well, what we saw was really something to remember. I had never seen the deer so quiet. And my boy, well, he'd never seen so many deer so close. Looks like they have enough to eat.
We should have brought them some carrots.
No, it wouldn't do them any good.
Why not?
Well, you can't bring food into deer. These deer could starve trying to eat carrots.
You don't like carrots?
Well, they like them all right, but it wouldn't do them any good.
Why not?
Well, if you really want to know, deer have a very unusual digestive system.
They have enzymes in their stomach that break down food substances, but only those foods that are indigenous to a specific area for a deer. These deer, for example, they eat bark. If we were to feed them corn, they'd probably starve to death. In any other circumstances, exactly the converse would be true. For example, if we...
That's okay, Dad. I think I'm already overinformed.
Yeah, I think you are too. Let's go get some lunch.
Let's not have carrots.
No, we'll have bark today.
So I sat right down and had this little talk with me. And I found a friend and I built a memory.
How come the deer don't get cold?
Well, if you really want to know, in addition to their fur, they have a layer of
Look at this. Nice and new.
For me, the times I remember most are those spent with friends. Like when a bunch of us went up north. We'd borrowed a motor home and we're heading to a farm for a weekend of snowmobiling. A lot of laughs and good times. I guess that was my big ride.
Okay, I think from then on we have to
go right
this.
here.
But that's what I thought.
Well, then maybe we take a right after one, and then we go up here.
I don't care where we're going now.
All right. There you go.
Okay, if I can find drive.
Okay, we're on the way.
Okay.
While there's still a mountain to climb, and there's still a road to travel, the challenge is the choice I've got to make. Like an eagle soaring free, there's this wild part of me that longs to spread its wings and build a memory.
Edgar, the girls are still sleeping. Will you get them up?
All right, girls, daylight is long. Let's go.
What it all comes down to is this. There are a lot of different big rides, and they're all out there waiting for you if you take the trouble to go out and look for them. Whether it's a trip with family and friends, an afternoon fishing, a race, or a trip across Alaska, they're out there waiting. You know, a man once said that life is nothing more than the sum total of what you remember. And maybe by that he's saying that everyone is entitled to as many big rides as he can find. But they're not going to come and find you. You're going to have to go and meet them halfway. Maybe your big ride will be nothing more than busting drifts. It looks like it could be a nice memory. guess everyone who has been on a snowmobile has had at least one very special trip. You know, a ride that stands out among all the rest. And for me, it was a trip to Yellowstone National Park. Now, the day we went, it was snowing. It was one of those soft, gentle snows. You know, the kind that seems to change the way things look, obscuring everything one minute, and the next, revealing pieces of the scenery. It made the park timeless. The animals moved quietly about without fear or concern. I've seen the park on other trips, both in the summer and in the winter, and I've enjoyed it every time. But that day was something extra special. You know, maybe it was my mood, maybe it was the way the snow was falling, or maybe the people I was with, but for whatever reason, it's a trip I'll always remember. It was my big ride. As I think about it, that's what the snowmobile has been to me, a means of getting out and building memories. I could have never seen the park like it was that day if it hadn't have been for the snowmobile. Edgar Hattin's big ride was to Alaska. In 1960, he drove a snowmobile across the state from Bethel to Fairbanks. It was memorable because it was 1,500 miles, very cold and windy. Nobody had ever done it before. But mostly it was memorable because of the adventure. It makes a natural topic for a campfire.
You're talking about amazing experiences today, Edgar. That thing you did in Alaska. That must have been pretty amazing.
I think my love affair with the snowmobile have always been best up north, and some of them happened quite a few years ago.
What was that like up there?
Well, I think it's a kind of an experience, Maury, that you probably only have one of in a lifetime, you know, because even doing it again, it would never have the same romance and the same excitement, the same thrill of conquering that rather primitive country.
When you say I did that and I'm glad I did it, why?
Well, I think for the sake of adventure, for the sake of making the blood rush through your veins a little faster, for leading other than rather humdrum experience, which is a rut that's so easy to fall into. The snowmobile became an escapement vehicle for me. It took me to adventure. It took me to adventuresome people. In that manner is I guess what I'm talking about.
You call that a pretty amazing experience?
Yeah, it was an experience.
The best one you had on a snowmobile, I think? Most memorable?
Yeah, it's the most memorable. It's the kind that you don't forget very easily, believe me. Yeah.
One of Charlie Lofton's big rides was the Boss Cat. The Boss Cat went faster than anyone thought a snowmobile could go. Now, I grant you, this is not your standard snowmobile, and it's not something just anyone could do, but driving it at a speed of over 120 miles an hour is sure something a man is going to remember. Charlie wasn't the only man to drive this machine. Dale Cormican and Paul Egerbrotten also drove Boss Cats, and each of them remembers what it was like.
Top snowmobile racers from all over the United States participate. It's an experience that's enjoyed by everyone. Now for one of the greatest wildlife and scenic experiences in North America. Snowmobiling in Yellowstone National Park. This is your national park, and its groomed trails are reserved for you and your snowmobile. No one, including the kids, can get bored with a place nature has been so kind to. This wildly beautiful place is much the same as it was 150 years ago when visited by fur trappers. Now it's your turn. Snowmobile your way to a kind of serenity you won't find anywhere else. And share with your family the feelings of joy, wonder, and peace. Ready to move up? Two Top Mountain is ready for you. This is one-of-a-kind snowmobiling. Trees so laden with snow they resemble stalagmites protruding up from the floor of a frozen cave. Looks a little scary? Don't worry. You'll do just fine. And you'll agree the ride is unbelievable. And now to make your vacation even more unbelievable, top it off by riding fabulous Lion's Head Mountain. Snowmobiling the deep powder snow is a thrilling winter experience.
You and me, all we need is snow, the sky, you and me. All we need is snow, the sky, you and me. All we need is snow, the sky, you and me.
Wherever you ride in West Yellowstone, the places are different. Each promises to make your vacation one you won't forget.
All we need is snow, the sky, you and me. All we need is snow, the sky, you and me. I'm the valleys and the mountains and the streams. I'm the trails with the snow-covered trees. West Yellowstone is you and me. snore the sky, you and me.
This is snowmobile country. An incredibly beautiful, unspoiled land of clear blue sky, plunging waterfalls, majestic wildlife, and snow-covered mountains. This land is an artist's dream, a snowmobiler's paradise.
Snore the sky, you and me.
Yellowstone is a country of snow. Snow, snow, and more snow. Snow that often made man a slave to Old Man Winter.
Snore the sky.
Then, along came the snowmobile. Now, winter is a whole new ballgame. The snowmobile allowed man to break the hold of Old Man Winter and to get out and enjoy this land as it was meant to be enjoyed. Now this land is yours, to refresh your senses, to renew your spirit, to bring out the snowmobiler in you. Gateway to this region is the town of West Yellowstone, Montana, the snowmobile capital of the world, known for its mountain cool summers and beautiful winters. During the winter, West Yellowstone is the hub of a snowmobiler's paradise, surrounded by more than 1,000 miles of groomed trails. It's a vacation land where snowmobiling can be enjoyed in scenic splendor. West Yellowstone is an easy destination from just about anywhere. Fly, drive, ride, or take a train. Travel light. All you'll need to bring is a change of clothes. Yellowstone Tour and Travel will take care of the rest. As the world's largest snowmobile rental operation, Yellowstone Tour and Travel offers snowmobilers the finest machines, clothing, and guides possible. Think snow. Yellowstone Tour and Travel thinks of everything else. They have over 200 Arctic cats set up especially for mountain riding, and they get brand spanking new machines every year. Their fine modern motels offer comfortable accommodations, delightful food, and gracious hospitality. The Ambassador Motor Inn, Big Western Pine, and the Three Bear Lodge each offer snowmobiles, clothing, and guides. And they offer something else, a tradition of hospitality native to mountain people eager to welcome snowmobilers. When it snows, the welcome mat goes out. Whether a large group, a family, or you and some friends, Yellowstone Tour and Travel will show you the time of your life. Just think, you'll be snowmobiling in 3 states, Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho. For a change of speed, head for the races. Come as a participant or spectator.
In December 1973, the Arctic racing team arrived in Ironwood, Michigan to begin a new race season unlike any before. This is the year of Snow Pro, the first professional snowmobile racing circuit. The first challenge is to the factories. Every machine is modified. Some are revolutionary. The rear engine, Alouette. Polaris and Yamaha using super-light space-age metals. Arctic has decided nothing will be raced which will not improve the production sleds. Nothing will go on the track which cannot be duplicated on the assembly line. That eliminates the expensive metals and severely handicaps Team Arctic. Yet, in many ways, this machine is more revolutionary than the others. Its major test will be the water-cooled engine. Through the season, 3 men will race for Arctic: Charlie Lofton, Dave Thompson, and Larry Colton. Each man is part driver, part mechanic, part engineer, tied to each other by a common need to win. In the decade that men have raced snowmobiles, nothing has compared with the anticipation of Snow Pro. The pattern of the season is quickly established. Polaris and Arctic. Two fiercely competitive teams, neither willing to give an inch. Charging into the corners, screaming down the straightaway. For Team Arctic, this season of frustrations start here. What they gain in the turns, they lose on the flats. The exotic metals give Polaris a slight edge. And in racing, a slight edge is the difference between who sees the checkered flag first and who drives with a face full of snow. Others are also having problems. The rear engine Alouette suffers its first in a series of breakdowns. For the fans, Snow Pro exceeds all expectations. This is the finest racing ever seen on snow. There's little time for Team Arctic to lick wounds and hunt excuses. They must begin the search for the elusive combination which will regain the winner's circle. Eagle River, Wisconsin, the second race of the season and further proof of Murphy's Law. If things can get worse, they will. To overcome the weight disadvantage, the Arctic sleds have been lightened. Everything not structurally necessary has been eliminated. 40 pounds stripped from each sled. No one knows if it will be enough. Minor adjustments become critically important. A barometer helps set carburetors. An intense low-pressure system moves in and the freak winter storm changes from snow to rain. All confidence vanishes. This day will not be ruled by the efforts of men, but by nature. Rain, sleet, and ice turn anticipation to apprehension. Eagle River, one of the finest tracks on the circuit, has become a skating rink. The machines slide and bang from corner to corner. This is a day for caution, a day to ease off, a day to survive. But
For Team Arctic, these sensible words must be discarded. You do not win with caution. Dave Thompson is stunned by the spill. More frustrated than hurt. What no other driver could do, the weather has. Thompson is out of the race. His determination will now become the spirit of the team. The weather continues its assault, and machine after machine falls. The feelings of frustration and disappointment are picked up by the crowd. For the second time, Team Arctic fails. But in losing, something else has been gained. It starts as an idea, a feeling that if the suspension can be modified, the sled may hold the turns better. But for a while, the test will be put off and SnowPro set aside. Every year, the St. Paul Winter Carnival has a cross-country race, a marathon. 400 drivers from all over North America line up to start in waves. This is not a SnowPro event. It's only for stock machines, consumer sleds without modifications. For Colton, Thompson, and Lofton, this is a much-needed break in the season. The carnival atmosphere flows over to the starting line, and in the pre-dawn light, the 500-mile charge to Winnipeg, Manitoba begins. This race covers every conceivable kind of terrain. Road shoulders, ditches, fields, and riverbeds. The event lasts 4 days. The first day goal is Alexandria, Minnesota, 130 miles north with only a gas stop in between. The pressure here is not on a team or a manufacturer, but on each man, each machine. The winner will be the one who pushes the hardest, who drives himself and his machine beyond limits. At night, they work on their sleds, repairing what they can in the 2-hour limit.
There's more than 2 men per machine, we will disqualify the machine.
Tired and sore, they streak across the morning sun to start the second day. For miles, the only machines the driver will see are those that fall by the wayside. Each man is alone, driving with or because of something inside. Battered and twisted, the machines arrive at the finish line. And as always, our cat dominates. Marv Odie, a product engineer, wins the race, and 6 out of the first 10 machines are cats. For Colton, the race has taken his mind off SnowPro, but now he must again face the oval track and the frustration which has been following him. The team moves to West Yellowstone, Montana, and the last race of the snow pro season is threatened by a spring blizzard. Again, the weather will decide if Team Arctic will be able to test what it has learned. Crews work around the clock to keep the track clear, and everyone waits for race day. Then, as quickly as it came, the storm is gone. It's a county fair, the 4th of July. It's the mountain rites of spring they call the West Yellowstone Roundup. It's sunshine, pretty girls, and postcard scenery. But more than all of this, it's racing. First, the stocks and modifieds. In the history of West Yellowstone, no brand has so completely dominated. This day is for the black machines. In 8 out of 12 classes, Arctic Cat crosses first. From powder puff to modified, race after race, it's Arctic Cat, Arctic Cat, Arctic Cat. Now, Snow Pro and Charlie Lofton. Expected by many to dominate his class, Lofton has won only twice this season. He has taken each defeat personally. The season for him has come down to this race, and he must win. Hard, fast, and wide, the track offers no excuses. Tired of being second, Lofton will accept none. If skill and determination count, then Lofton will need no excuses. Again, the challenge comes from the Polaris team, as they have all year the black and white battle around the track. The lessons of Eagle River and Ironwood have been learned well. Today, it's hard to tell where the machine stops and where Lofton begins. It is harder still to tell whether the engine or his will is powering the charge. His pride and the pride of Arctic Cat are now on the line. Neither will be tarnished this day. What is over for Lofton now starts for Colton. There is nothing more Larry can do to be ready for this race. The hours of tuning, aligning, and realigning are over. The bitter taste of defeat must be washed out here or carried through the summer. His philosophy is simple. Be the first into the corner, then dare anyone to catch him. With incredible ease, Colton takes the lead and then begins to pull away. Everything is again as it's meant to be. Colton ahead by half a lap, constantly looking over his shoulder as if waiting for someone, anyone, to test him. But the test will not come. The year of frustration has ended in victory, not just for the drivers, but for everyone at Arctic Cat. What has been won is a better machine, further improving the finest snowmobile made. What is on the track this year will be on the trail next year. For while winning is always the goal, improving the breed is the purpose. Year after year, the racetrack is the test track, because year after year, it's the Cat. March 1974. The Rocky Mountains are in the vice-like grip of a high country blizzard. In 7 days, 100 inches of snow will fall. And right into the teeth of this storm come the snowmobilers. Bundled against the cold, they ride the miles of mountain trails. What would have been foolhardy a few years ago is now commonplace. Weather, distance, rough trails are no longer obstacles. The snowmobile has become that dependable. Arctic Cat started this development 12 years ago. In that short time, radical changes in design, performance, and dependability have occurred. Most of these improvements have been forged in the icy fires of competition. And as the year after year drive to make what is good even better continues to propel improvement, tomorrow's changes take their first